The more exciting update is we've launched something called Coco Skills, which is essentially a 13-file structured language reference built not for humans, but for AI coding assistants.
Unfortunately, in most of the technologies, you don't exist. You exist as an identity or a wallet or a profile. That cannot be a layer which can provide the trust which an agent needs.
Most of the companies are talking about, they're so excited that they can do more with less. And in fact, what they're really excited about is that they can do the same with less.
We are back. Hello, welcome everybody. Good evening, good morning, good night. If you don't want to go through all of this, bye-bye. But yes, hello everybody. Welcome to the 8th community call for MOI. It's going to be an exciting one. As you can already see, there are new faces. But for a welcome, this community call is going to be about the agentic economy boom, right? And in this call, we're going to talk a lot about dev updates, about Coco, about the SDKs. AK here is going to talk about the growth of the project itself, right? And then, of course, no MOI community call is complete without contextual compute. We also have a guest from this, like you might have heard of him. It's by this small little community called CryptoMondays. He's just there to help us out. And yes, we will be having a great conversation with Lou Kerner over here, which I'm looking forward to a lot. And of course, we also have the community updates from Sai. And yeah, I think that's about it. That covers up a little summary of what we're going to be doing tonight. Just a little bit of housekeeping. This will be recorded and is being recorded right now. So if you do miss the entire call, no problem whatsoever. This will be uploaded onto our YouTube channels. So make sure you follow YouTube, all other social media, so you can be up to date with all this stuff. Cool, then without further ado, let's get started, shall we? We'll start with the dev updates. So Adi, it's all yours, brother.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Adi, I'm Gabriel. And yeah, we've got quite a few really big updates on the dev side for this call. Starting off with Cocolang, which is our context-oriented programming language. We've released Coco v0.8.1, which essentially has a lot of bug fixes and stability improvements. The docs are ready, the PR is ready, we're just pending the merge, which we'll do very soon. The more exciting update is we've launched something called Coco Skills, which is essentially a 13-file structured language reference built not for humans, but for AI coding assistants. So you drop it into your Coco projects, and suddenly tools like Claude Code or Cursor or Codex can write valid, compatible Coco code. Anything from types, state management, endpoints, classes. It knows the whole language. And like before this, AI assistants would have just given you broken pseudocode, without correct syntax. There'd be a bunch of spelling mistakes here and there. But now, and we're also one of the first let's say protocols to have implemented this. So we've basically leveled up your coding experience from let's say 100 to almost 1,000 now, because now agents fully understand every single aspect of Coco. Yeah, could you go on to the next slide? Thanks. And another huge upgrade on our side is the VS Code extension. So we went from just a syntax highlighting to a full language server. That means the go-to definition across multi-file modules, proper semantic highlighting, so different parts of the code are visually distinct, and real-time error diagnostics inline. So undefined variables, invalid field access, type checking, state field validation, all flagged as you type. So this is one of the biggest updates that we could have. You can literally see if you're making a mistake as you type out your code. And we've tested this against 130 different Coco test files. It is live on the VS Code marketplace. And for any developers out there who are interested in Coco and want to try this out, you should definitely download it. It's really, really cool. I also tried using it yesterday, and it's honestly amazing. Yeah. And finally, we've hit a new upgrade on the JSMOI SDK. Again, it's bug fixes and stability improvements. Our core protocol, GoMOI, we've also hit an upgrade for its v0.11.0. essentially focusing around performance improvements for the KBFT. And one more really exciting update, which I think we launched it last call. We have a MOI wallet that's under works right now, both a browser SDK, a browser extension, as well as a mobile app that can be used. We're doing some very active beta testing right now, and props to the protocol team for this. It looks really, really cool, and I can't wait for the rest of the community to get to try it out. And finally, docs overhaul. We've basically rewritten every single bit of our documentation, not from a content standpoint, but from a design standpoint. We've basically given it a massive glow up. The docs look so very, very readable, and we've also essentially ensured that the docs are GEO compliant, which essentially means that now the docs are more easily understandable for AI agents. So, if you have an idea that you want to build and you want to talk to Claude or you want to talk to Cursor on how to actually implement it, our docs are probably the best suited for that exact use case. Those are majorly the dev updates. At any point, if you guys have any questions, any ideas you want to build on top of MOI, always reach out to me. We're always looking to have applications built on our participants that are clear. And that's it from my side. Over to you, Ashwin.
Awesome. Ironic how the quickest update has one of the most significant updates on the dev side. Huh? Amazing stuff, I must say. Huge props to the dev team, huge props to the protocol team. I mean, without them, none of this would be possible. So great stuff, man. I can't wait to see what's up in the future as well. Cool. And now we have at his feature, the man himself, the CEO, the founder, and the boss. We have AK himself over here to talk about positive growth, contextual compute, and more about what's happening in MOI itself. So, AK, all yours.
All right, man. Here comes the boss. So. That is
getting fired.
So, I think nothing could be more said than how Adi started this call, right? We're eating our own dog food. Now, agents can program on Cocoa. That's it. So that's the speed at which it's moving, right? So we're the first protocol. So now people will be able to use agents, and they can use the language to build your contextual compute and context-oriented applications. Now, that's just not a reaction to what market is doing. That's because that's where the action is going to be, and that's where the efficiency is going to be. So I'm sure all of you have heard a lot about Agentic AI and how Agentic AI is going to grow. If you look at a lot of statistics, I think there are about people talk about anywhere between 827 billion to a few $1 trillion by 2030 on this whole agentic economy, right? So and OpenClaw and the new release from Claude has really moved the needle around how the agentic economy is really going to grow, and it's no longer a question of if, it's a question of how, when, where, right? So it is definitely happening. It's moving forward. People are building newer workflows around this. I'm hearing a $1 trillion company with 10 people may not be far off. So something remarkable is happening. And I yesterday was listening to an interview from the CEO of NVIDIA. So, and he was asked a question: why are people being laid off with agents? And his answer was remarkable. I thought, he said, people who are laying off people when you get AI and agents are the CEOs who are not imaginative. So you got to do more with more, not more with less. So, and that's where the opportunities, the productivity is going to scale a lot more. And that's what our approach is, right? How do you empower individuals more and provide them control so that we can do more with more? I think that's the opportunity for us. So, but that's all great. But one of the key aspects that we want to focus on MOI and what we do here is, if you look at how things operate today, you are the safety layer in the digital, right? So you log in, you review, you approve, you click, you confirm. every time, because if you go book, you may make your priorities, you make your decisions. But then guess what? When the autonomous agents come in, you're cut out of the loop. So the real question is, who's going to represent you inside the network who will have the delegated authority to do what you're doing today? And that's a very interesting question. Efficiency is great, but then you need to be able to trust it. You need to be able to reflect, the agents needs to reflect what your preferences are on a dynamic basis. Without that, I think some of these efficiencies will be undermined. So what happens when you leave the loop? So I think I read an article again yesterday. I think there's a message from the chief data officer at MasterCard, right? How does the agent know what you're supposed to do for every interaction? It's great that we have solved the connectivity problem, we have solved the identity problem. How do we solve the trust problem where the agents represent you, right? Right now, if you look at it in computation, you're just an identity, but your identity is not you, right? So AK's name is not AK. So AK needs to have existence in computation, right? So you are not a wallet. You're not a profile. So today, unfortunately, in most of the technologies, you don't exist. You exist as an identity or a wallet or a profile. And that cannot be a layer which can provide the trust which an agent needs. So when the human leaves the loop, there is nothing left in the machines to represent them. And that's the problem we are trying to solve using our technology at MOI. So some numbers, I think I'll just take a couple of minutes to talk about this. What happens when the who dimension or you, when you're missing in computation? I don't know how many of you read this paper. This was put out by Northwestern and Harvard recently. It's called Agents of Chaos. They did a study where they did about put some agents and allowed them to make decisions on their own autonomous agents. And guess what? Catastrophic failure, right? So all of them did well. They're connected. They were doing the job, but then they didn't have delegated authority. So because they didn't have delegated authority, they couldn't reach any kind of consensus on what should be the right decision for a participant. And so that created a chain of events, which created a lot of problems. Now, the foundational problem there is, again, you don't have a layer on which participant exists, independent of the apps or agents, from which the authority can be provided to the agents. And so, and obviously some collateral damages, right? So you have on the crypto side, because the assets are stored in the smart contract, not with the participants, you have value leakage. And the other interesting thing is the software industry has a lot of, the app layer has a lot of money, and that's because the moat has really moved from functionality to context. And so there's got to be a layer into which applications can have control over it, so that and we believe that layer is going to be the context layer. So when the participant layer and the who is missing, we have multiple problems when autonomous agents will not have delegated authority. Your assets will be at risk, and finally, apps will kind of lose relevance if that layer fundamentally moves to the modeling layer. But that can't happen because modeling is general purpose. So obviously the context layer is where the action is going. So how is the industry attempt to do this? Memory layers, star rating, guardrails, API keys, all of them are great, but then all of them are not existence. So for example, industry's answers are typically today an analytics era answer to an agentic era problem. Now, and we believe that we have something here which is uniquely around participant centricity as a participant layer, which can augment to the existing approaches around memory and API keys, which can foundationally provide the kind of trust layer which agents are looking for. So what is actually needed? So you need to exist, right? The agents kind of log into you, not you into the agent's platform. Think of it, you have an existence, Lou has an existence in computation independently of all agents in application, Ananta has got an existence. So anytime any agent wants to do something, they log into your authority in a very decentralized way so that they have the authority to make things happen. And now, think of people are talking about millions of agents. That is like a trivial example. You want to change your agent to spend only $400 from your wallet, not $500 from your next interaction. Where do you update it now? You've got millions of agents, autonomous agents need to do this across boundaries. And you can't go update every agent. So you need to have an environment into which you're able to do this so the agents can sort of log into you. And that's the existence aspect that will solve the problem. So what did we do? Today's computation does not have participant or who as an independent dimension. We introduced that. So if you look at today's dimensions are what, where, and how, we have heard me say this before. Where the data is processed, what data is processed, how the data is processed, but you don't have an existence independent of the logic applications, and that's the thing that we fixed. And how did we fix it? I will not go through this slide, but then we have a new idea called contextual compute. It's a new computing paradigm where participant is a foundational dimension of computation. Today's computational model is anonymously indexed. What I mean by that is you don't have an existence without a program. In this model, you have existence without code, which allows the code to kind of take authority from you. So participants get foundational agency, so which is kind of where we need to go if you're going to make decentralized AI happen, right? So if we move from a world of COBOL programs to be controlled by smart contracts, then we have lost the battle again. So participants don't have agency, so introduce participants agency. So what have we done? We have built something called a participant layer. This is kind of the context infrastructure. So this we believe is the new application layer of the internet. So every individual has got independent existence. An individual need not be a human being. It could be a machine, it could be an agent, it could be and they have an independent existence. And because they have independent existence, they're able to provide their trust preferences, priorities, authority on that layer. So all the agents and applications can log into you and kind of propagate to you. Think of it like the trust DNS. Today you have DNS. Think of it like today websites are accessed by anybody, anywhere in the internet, obviously through some kind of an index structure. So think of participant layer like the trust DNS, but the index is at the participant level, right? So that's the analogy I will leave you guys with. So anybody, any agent where any process or application that they want to take authority from, they come to this trust layer, which is controlled by you, which is decentralized. And so the agent can kind of work under your authority. So with that, I think this is kind of the summary. So let us all have existence inside computation so the agents can reflect our priorities and do what we want to do and provide the trust it needs.
Right. Well said, I must say. I mean, what is a network or a community without the who? Is it? It's the participants that know the heart of this entire thing. So yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. No, go ahead if you have any.
No, I'm saying that also solves a lot of scalability, performance problems. So there are a lot of engineering problems that get solved, but foundationally you get existence in computation.
Hell yeah.
That's like an idea that we would have fixed long time back, but I think the forcing function of the agents.
Yeah, pretty much. Cool then. Thank you so much, AK, for your insights. That was really well done. Really well said as well. So let's go on to the next one. And that is, as I introduced before, the founder of CryptoMondays, the man himself, Lou Kerner is here. Thank you so much for being here, Lou. Really, really excited to see you here, honestly. And I'm like, goddamn.
Thanks for having me, and great talk, AK. Both on the new functionality introduced, and I couldn't agree with you more about the importance of what Wang said from the NVIDIA about that most of the companies are talking about. They're so excited that they can do more with less. And in fact, what they're really excited about is that they can do the same with less. And to me, that's the very first TV shows was people sitting at a desk with a microphone on it going, now we're on television, right? Because that was all that they knew, right? And I think he's right, but if you have imagination, you could think of, right? I mean, it's, and it seems pretty obvious that the winners are going to be the people who do that and do more with more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And once again, thank you so much for joining us today. So I actually met Lou for the first time, I think 3 weeks ago, but Ananta says a lot of good things about you. And the first time I met him was at one of the CryptoMondays events at New York. And Lou's got to be one of the most social people I've met. So it was a very refreshing meetup. On the side of, CM and MOI, we just have a couple of questions for you, and just feel free to share your thoughts. Obviously, CM CryptoMondays is one of the biggest grassroots Web3 communities out there. You all have about 160,000 members across the world. I just want to ask you, so you've been with MOI, you've been an advisor with MOI for a long time now. What excites you the most about MOI network?
Yeah, I think obviously Ananta is a smart guy, and I think he has a big vision, and that's the most exciting thing is to be a part of and they're long shots, but if you go, hey, this guy seems to be thinking about things in unique ways and solving real problems. He had a track record of success, and now I've had over a period of time have seen him build and execute and really move the company forward. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. The second question I have for you is more on the side of one of your more recent projects, the Decentralized AI Agent Alliance. So could you talk to us a little bit about what DAI is trying to do and what MOI being part of it means right now, given the narrative around AI agents, especially the decentralized AI community? Could you share your thoughts on that?
Sure. So just real quick here, I've got my passion is really community. The second digital company I ran was the largest social network in the world before MySpace. I've been thinking deeply about community for more than 20 years. And CryptoMondays is a community, it's a decentralized community, 63 chapters around the world, completely decentralized. And we have one rule, and the one rule is that you're not allowed to email us and ask us permission to do something. What part of decentralization did you not understand? And people like that rule. And it's hard for a lot of people to really appreciate that. We're not there to extract anything from them or tell them what to do. We're there to help them, under the belief that the whole is worth so much more than the sum of the parts. We don't need to extract value from the parts. We can all share in the abundance that's been created. And, and in some ways, DAI is very much out of that same mold. It was started when we started building our own community management AI agent, recognized that there were a lot of problems that needed to be solved for decentralized AI agents to truly be a thing, starting with, as AK was talking about earlier, identity, right? And CryptoMondays was not going to solve all these problems in a silo. And so the obvious thing was, let's get together and work collectively and solve these problems collectively. And we started last January, and today we're over 190 founding members. And, and it's a community. And the idea is that, original idea was that there were problems that needed to be solved, and you could start a subgroup to solve that problem, and other members who were interested in helping solve that problem would join the subgroup. And the truth is that from when we started it in January, for the first 10, 11 months, interest in decentralized AI agents actually decreased. Now, anybody who had spent any time thinking about it, it was inexorable that this was going to happen, right? And this is just a pendulum, right? Sometimes people get too excited, then it goes the other way, right? That's what it does. And so if you see it, you don't go away, you continue to build. And so, we continued to build. And then obviously a few months ago with OpenClaw, the world, completely changed, and now Claude. And, when I got into crypto, I saw the crypto like June 29th, 2017, and I'm a little older, and I described my career as I had chased a lot of shiny objects, most of which were really shiny, and I don't have any complaints. But what I never really benefited from was compounding, like sitting in one chair for a long time. And so I just said, that I know new shiny things are going to come along when I get in crypto, but crypto is so shiny, I'm going to do this forever. But if new shiny things come along, I can bring them to crypto. And I'm spending the majority of my time at the intersection of crypto and AI, because obviously this is the shiniest thing ever.
Yeah, once again, I couldn't agree with you more. I think we are, in one of the most exciting periods of the internet as a whole, with the intersection of distributed systems and AI.
Yeah. Actually, I'm writing a piece. It's coming up to my 9-year 24/7, and and I'm trying to think, what's the moment that we're in? Like, where are we? What's happened over the last year? Last year, the title of my anniversary post was my 8-year crypto journey to becoming a Bitcoin maxi. Which I wasn't a Bitcoin maxi, but I think a lot of people, a lot of stuff gets tried and doesn't work. Bitcoin continues to work. Obviously I'm a big believer that other things will work. And so anyways, so the title of, the basic premise, the moment that I see that is happening too is, one of the things that I saw before I got into 6 months before I started into crypto, that, oh my God, I saw what I called Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon. They're ever increasing market share, market cap being great for them, horrific for the rest of humanity. And, over the ensuing now more than 9 years, their domination of the world has been extraordinary. And when I saw crypto, what I saw was, okay, there's a technology that maybe, can, unseat, and there can be now a new paradigm that comes, and in the time, the 30 plus years I've been in tech, this has happened twice. There have been two things that have happened where everything completely changed, in my mind, and basically the other people can have other views, but the two massive ones one was the internet. The internet changed everything. And the second was mobile, smartphones. That changed everything, right? Both of those two things happened. Massive things changed everything. And now what's happening is not only do you have crypto, but you have AI happening at the same time. So the opportunity for so everything is going to change so dramatically, and it's going to change faster than it ever has. And there was one big difference between everything changing with the internet and everything changing with mobile smartphones is when everything changed with the internet, the most valuable companies in the world totally changed, and they all became tech companies. Everything changed. It was a whole new slew of companies that became the most valuable companies in the world. Smartphones, it was the same exact companies. They just became massively more valuable. And really, the question, in my mind, and why I'm here and believe in community is this the combination of these two things? Is it just going to be leveraged by, Facebook and Google again to grow even massively more dominant? Or is there going to be a changing of the guard and a new, hopefully fair world that comes out of it?
Yeah, that's like I said, it's a very, very exciting time, and we are at the inflection point right now. There's the next couple of years is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, and I think Lou I've known Lou for the last 4 or 5 years. I think consummate.
Yeah.
consummate community person I've ever met. And so I like this. He said it already, but I like it all. I like this statement always, right? Don't call me if you want to start Crypto Mondays.
Well, we're here to help. So we're here to help, but we're not here to tell you what to do or set rules. You know, we're not paying anybody to run a Crypto Mondays. And so if they're not getting more out of it than they're putting in, they're not going to do it very long. And I think any rule we would have would lessen that. So what we're optimizing for is, you know, how can we give them more utility so that they're able to figure out how to, you know, get more out of it. You know, the Crypto Mondays Paris, that one grew to become Paris Blockchain Week.
Yeah.
We've had some, you know, very successful, you know, chapters.
And I think personally, Lou, this whole decentralized AI that you're taking on is really important, because otherwise I think one is the philosophical angle. The other one is, I think even technically, intelligence is going to emerge locally at the edges. So obviously you need local communities to manage that, right? This whole centralized model may not work even technically, right? So I think this whole decentralized AI is really the critical aspect of how this eventually going to create demand.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And, you know, from my perspective, I was, you know, a big Facebook fan for many years in terms of, you know, as a business and, you know, what Mark Zuckerberg created and grew. And you know, I actually wrote a Wall Street Journal research report about it. I was on CNBC more than 50 times. And I had a very macro view on community that I still hold today. You're either growing the engagement of your community or your community is dying. And, you know, once it tips over, it's very hard to turn around. And so I was a bull until Q4 17, when engagement went down for the first time at Facebook. And on the call, they said engagement went down because we decided to stop people from doing the number one thing that people like to do on Facebook, read fake news. It went down for 3 quarters, and then it started going up again. And if you were paying attention, you knew what they were doing was allowing fake news again. And now we all know, you know, that you know, what they do now is they optimize your feed for deciding are you liberal or, you know, or conservative, and feeding you fake news to push you to the edge, because the closer to the edge you are, the more time you spend on Facebook. And that seems to me to be pretty evil.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the last question we have for you today is it's a more general one. A lot of protocols, a lot of companies in the crypto space, they go very heavy on a BD first model and, you know, partnership first model from day one. Obviously, MOI is done differently, where we've essentially taken more of a community first path. From everything you've seen in the Web3 industry, like, why does that approach, the community first, as opposed to a strong BD heavy you know, equation or approach work a lot better?
Look, I'm not saying you know, one is necessarily better than the other. I think there are an infinite number of ways to skin a cat. What I think is that if you understand and appreciate community, I think the obvious thing that people fall about, let's do so everybody does BD. You know, or and so it's much more competitive on the BD front than the people who focus on community, and you know, understand. Yeah, I go around giving a talk called 10 Thoughts on Community, and I start with, you know, what does community even mean, right? And so maybe like Nance understands, you know, that a community is an ecosystem where when it works, everybody gets more out of it than they're putting in, right? And how do you create that ecosystem, you know, such that can occur, you know, and if you can, then you can really create a flywheel.
Yeah, that's I couldn't agree with you more over there. And yeah, I think that comes to the end of this fireside chat. Thank you so much, Lou, for joining us. You know, obviously we always learn a lot from you, and yeah, over to you, Ashwin.
And I'll meet you in New York, Lou.
Awesome. See you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Thank you. Thank you
so much, Lou. Awesome. There are infinite ways to skin a cat is probably the craziest thing told on this call. And I absolutely love that. Put that on a t-shirt right now. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Lou, for being here. That was a great conversation. We need to put him in the podcast. the Humanized podcast, which is out right now out on YouTube and Spotify, by the way. You guys should absolutely check it out. First episode's brilliant. I'm not saying that because I edited it myself, but it is truly brilliant. But yes.
He's saying it because of that.
No, shush, we're going to talk about that. Amazing. That was such a great conversation. All right, coming up next, we have the community updates, the updates about you guys, right? And how the socials are going, how our campus roadshows are going, all that stuff. And that'll be given to you guys by Sai. So, Sai, state's all yours.
Hey everyone, yeah. Am I audible? Should be audible, yeah. All right, yeah, let's start with something fun today. I'm not starting a game night, but I'm going to talk about the game night. So for now, we have completed 3 game nights, and honestly, the experience was amazing. We have now grown on our Discord community to 300 members. And what's exciting is the growth is coming from the active participants, not just passive participants joining into the Discord community. So in the last game night, we have introduced theme rounds that we already discussed, and that completely changed the energy of the game night itself. So people were just answering questions, they were having their own conversations. They were actually immersed in the experience of this complete game night for the 1 hour complete. We are seeing very important thing here. The community is forming their own groups through interactions, fun, and shared moments. They also reply back to their own messages, funny messages in the game night. That's something that is really exciting. That's something that is a sign that our community is growing. And going forward, we are planning to double down on this. More game nights, more creative formats, and more other games in this game nights where people can explore different sort of games, not just the trivia that we are playing now. So yeah, that was on the game night. Thank you. Yeah, go back to the podcast slide. Yeah. So yeah, now let's talk about something that we are really excited about. The Humanized podcast. Episode 1 has already crossed 25,000 views across all the platforms, which is like a strong signal for us that early content is really working out. And what's most interesting part is it's not just about the views, it's also the quality of the engagement. We are seeing 40% retention from the people, which means people are actually staying and listening to the podcasts or the short videos that we are making them live. And most of this audience is completely new to the MOI. They are new subscribers to the ecosystem. So for now, we have generated 10K new impressions from the YouTube alone, with 27 plus hours of watch time, with growing subscriber base. So that's something that is really interesting. And we also seen peak daily viewers cross 600 plus with clear algorithm driven spikes, so which is clearly organic, I would say. And what this means is YouTube is actively picking up our content and testing it with new audiences. And top of that, some of our videos are hitting up to 7% of CTR, which is very strong signal that our hooks and content is really working. So overall, we are not just growing views, we are entering discovery mode, and this is where content starts compounding. So with episode 2 dropping next week, we are going more deeper, we are going more builder focused with more insights and bigger conversations with top Web3 people. So yeah. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, thank you. Now, this is one of the most important updates that we have for today. We have been experimenting with multiple platforms like Galaxy for community engagement, and obviously Discord is one of them. While they are great for off-chain activities, we realize something critical. They don't fully solve for an on-chain participation. That's where MOI Nation comes in. We are building our own gamified engagement platform directly integrated with MOI-Chain. Think of this as a central hub for everything you do in MOI ecosystem. Game nights, campus roadshows, MOI Forge, everything that's happening in and around MOI ecosystem that's come together in one place. So instead of fragmented experiences, you'll have a single dashboard, single landing page where you can explore, participate, and grow. So now let me quickly walk you through what we are building. First, a gamified progression system. You earn XP for every action, every level up, every track of your journey in my ecosystem. The second one is obviously wallet and testnet integration, seamless onboarding with MOI and IOMI wallets. And even there is a built-in faucet to get started instantly. The third one is interactive quest engine. This includes social missions, quizzes, and brain teasers, crypto challenges. This always helps us to build real on-chain interactions. The fourth one is digital collectibles. So you unlock unique assets as you progress. And finally, obviously, this is not the least one, but the major one, leaderboards and recognition. So there will be a global ranking, referral rewards, and visibility for top contributors. So the goal here is very simple. We don't want users just to sign up. We want them to be actively participating on chain. We want them to interact, progress, and become part of the ecosystem. So this is very big step for my to make interactive more rewarding and more maybe honest and more fun. Yeah. So we will shoot more details very soon about this. Yeah. Today we have Monkey on the community call.
Hello, humans. Long time no see. Yes, Monkey went a little off the radar, not because I forgot you, because I've been chasing bananas. Big ones.
While you were watching charts move sideways, Monkey was building, posting, growing. Current stats from the jungle.
1K followers, small tree growing fast, almost 5 million impressions. Even my monkey brain is like, human's actually listening now.
Also say new human entering the jungle. Welcome to the team, Piyush. From what Monkey sees, sharp brain, builder energy. Good. We need more banana growers, less banana commentators.
By the way, I would stay longer and talk more, but Monkey is currently booked for summer vacation. Yes, even monkeys need a break from human chaos. Keep building, stop overreacting to every candle, and remember, bananas grow slowly, but humans panic instantly. Bye, everyone.
Okay. I am not offensive, by the way. I'm not in chaos. So yeah, this is what we have planned for the next month. While I wrap this up, I wanted to give what's coming next. You can expect more game nights from us. We were talking about the meme contest. We are really trying to make it live coming month. Also, like I already mentioned, podcast episode 2 is gonna be live in next week, and we are trying to bring the prominent people for the podcast to have great conversations. And campus roadshows are already on the line, and then launching of this MOI Nation. So yeah, everything we are doing is focused on one thing: building a strong, active global community. So yeah. So we are not just building technology, we are building an ecosystem where people actually want to be part of. And the best part is, if you are early, then feel free to hop in. Let's keep building and have fun together. That's all from me. Yeah, here is the QR code. Over to you, Ashwin. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome stuff right there. Thank you so much, Sai, for the updates. Thank you so much, Monkey, for the update. Seeing you here was pretty fun. Stop annoying me. I do not have bananas. Okay. Thank you all so much for joining this call. It was probably the best call I've been a part of. It went amazing. Thank you all for joining. I'm really happy to see so many participants today. And a lot of emotes. Well, keep those emotes coming in. That shows participation going on. And we will be coming back soon for the next community call. A lot of things coming up in the close future, right? Be it contests, be it memes, be it actual updates, more everything. And yes, thank you all so much for joining, and we shall see you in the next community call. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you all.